So after any storm, the best advice is really to be safe. We want to make sure that homeowners are going out and being safe, or when they go out into the woods or into their yard, that they're thinking about safety. We say look up, obviously, for widowmakers to make sure that there's no hazards that are, in the tree. Also looking up for any live wires, and also looking down for any live wires. And then also just in terms of any of the debris, any of the branches or debris that's on the ground. Sometimes live wires can be hidden under branches or in brush. So to really assess the situation before they start taking any action or start moving any debris. One of the first questions that we ask people is, in general, is a tree healthy and vigorous, or was it healthy and vigorous before the storm hit? Trees are amazing in their ability to handle a little bit of damage, to seal off wounds that are created as a result of storm events. We start by asking them to just do kind of a quick assessment. Is a tree vigorous and healthy other than storm damage? How many branches have been broken? If there's probably, rule of thumb that we use is if 50% or more of the canopy has been damaged or, as a result of the storm, that's time to consider whether or not the tree should come out. One of the things that we encourage homeowners to do is to do a quick risk assessment. So if a tree is leaning over your house, that's obviously a different situation than if it's leaning, across your dooryard or your driveway. So one of the first things that after a storm event like this happens, we ask people to do a quick risk assessment of any of the damage around their house. If there's limbs hanging over their roof or over a garage or something like that, that's certainly a different situation than if there's limbs just hanging over their backyard. In terms of hiring a professional, in the urban and community forestry world, we recommend that people work with an ISA, which stands for International Society of Arboriculture Certified Arborist. There's information online, and you can go to our website to find a link to be able to find an arborist in your area. The thing about using a certified arborist is that this is somebody who's trained, they've gone through professional development, and that they're continually trained so that they're up to date in terms of the research and best practices around tree care. So we encourage people to start with a professional. When you're looking to try to figure out how much it's going to cost you, it really depends on the job. Every job is different. Every amount of storm damage is different. Depends, and the type of damage can affect the cost. So it's really important to contact professionals, have them come out and do an assessment, and give you an estimate as to what the job will cost. We encourage homeowners to do anything from the ground. So with your feet on the ground, there's a lot of things that you can do to clean up from storm damage. One thing in particular is to help repair or address any broken limbs or any tree branches that have been broken as a result of the storm. One of the simplest things is to actually make a proper pruning cut of a jagged branch, and that'll allow the tree to seal over that wound and heal a lot quicker than just leaving a broken branch. The other thing I like to encourage homeowners, though, is, again, bringing it back to safety is, if you are working under a tree, to consider wearing a helmet and face shields as well. And if the homeowner is interested in doing any more work, like cutting up, blocking up tip overs, using chainsaws and that, always using your personal protective equipment, like your chaps, obviously ears and eye and head protection as well.
There's going to be lots of brush piles. What can be done with these brush piles, and what are they good for?
One of the things that we like to encourage homeowners to think about is, with all this brush that's down, obviously you can use it for firewood if you burn wood at your house, but there's also an opportunity to take it out into the woods and create little brush piles for critters. Brush piles like this make wonderful habitat for small critters in the woods, if you have a little area in your backyard that you want to encourage wildlife, these brush can be piled up and can make a nice home for something out there. We're seeing more and more of these types of storms, these smaller kind of, or more localized, I should say, events. We're seeing a lot of windstorms and obviously rain events throughout the state. Now we're moving into fall and ice storm season is upon us, or is coming upon us. So I think, being prepared and thinking about the trees in your yard or around your house, and thinking about what you can do for preventative maintenance in terms of regular pruning, hiring an arborist to come out and do an assessment to look at the health and vitality of your trees and to address any health issues or any structural issues. One of the things that we see with these storms is that a lot of times the branches that break are because there's a structural issue that can be addressed through regular pruning or preventative pruning early on, especially in the tree's life when you're making smaller cuts and the tree can seal over that wound a lot quicker and grow a healthier form that'll be more resilient in a future storm.